Yo, what's going on YouTube? It is your boy GCTV back with another video. And in this video, we are going to be talking about this season 4 opener. This is the 40th overall episode of the show. So yeah, we're going to get into this, and then literally right after this, I'm probably going to start watching the next episode just so I can kind of get going on things for today. Because, I mean, after this, and after I start watching Sopranos, I got to go to lunch, I got to go take a quiz, I got to do a little bit of homework, probably get that Yeet video out, do some more homework, eat dinner. It's crazy. I have to record a 2K video, and then I'm gonna have to finish The Sopranos, and we're gonna stream and do all that stuff. So it's gonna be a pretty busy evening. But let's just get this out of the way. Let's get this video moving so we can at least have some content to start the day. There's a decent amount that happened in this episode. It's obviously pivotal. It's the start of a new season, so Junior, worried about money, meets with Tony at his doctor's office and asks for more help for his medical and legal expenses. Tony, however, has his own expenses and angrily tells him to manage his affairs better. And somehow Tony at his age is already more successful than his uncle ever was, and he kind of talks about that, which is honestly a super interesting thing. So, Junior later promotes Bobby Bacalari. I don't know how to say his name correctly. Bacalari. I don't know. These Italian names, there's some tongue twisters up in there. But yeah, Bobby got promoted. Obviously, he's been helping Uncle for years. He kind of deserved it. I think it's a really good move for them. You know, he's a good dude. He's a family man. He's respectable. So, Assemblyman Ron Zellman tells Tony that Junior owns a property in a special development district in Newark, which is going to rise in value, and Tony buys the property, pretending that he is doing his uncle a favor. He buys it for $100,000. He literally goes to the doctor's office, literally the next moment, damn near. He's like, "Hey, I saw you had that property in Newark that I was really interested in. Can I buy it for $100K so you can pay your expenses?" And Junior, not knowing the market, kind of like being shut out to the outside world because of his medical situation, agrees to it, which is super fucked up. He also calls a meeting with the family's capos in which he criticizes the lack of growth in their businesses. The family's not doing well. They're not really doing bad, but they're not really being profitable. They're not really flourishing in any sort of way. So Tony's obviously getting really concerned. He's getting pissed off, especially because Uncle Junior, some of his earners aren't doing much for him, and he has expenses, and now he's coming to Tony, and now it's become this huge problem. So now Tony has to speak out about it. So, Carmela begins to worry about money, having seen the widowed Angie Bonpansero working at a supermarket. That's obviously like a super dramatic thing to do, especially when your husband is like probably one of the most rich and prospering man in New York. Like, literally, I don't know why you're worried about money. Oh, what if you die? And he's like, well, Paulie and Silvio can take care of you. And again, there's these deep conversations that are kind of taking place about money, about paying debts, about being able to survive in this world. I feel like that's a really big theme for this episode. So Tony insists that she and the children will be provided for if anything happens to him. He also claims he's no longer hiding money in their house, though he later hides packets of money in a tub of duck feed, and he like goes to the bird store and buys all this duck feed and stuff. It's kind of funny, but Carmela happens to pass by just after he closes the tub, so obviously a little bit of like a plot convenience situation there. It was close. Tony got lucky there. So Paulie is arrested in Youngstown Town. That's where the college is, right, in Ohio, on a gun charge, and resents Tony's apparent indifference. I don't know. In prison, he calls Johnny Sack, who cultivates his dissatisfaction. Yeah, it sucks. Obviously, Paulie's a really big part of the group. He's a made man. He's one of the higher ups, so like losing him is a pretty big deal. We're not sure how long he's going to be incarcerated. It's a gun charge. He's obviously like they're trying to just build cases against him. They're trying to find anything they can to arrest this guy. Eventually, he's going to go to trial. And if they find more stuff, he's probably going to go for life. So let's hope that doesn't happen to him. He's a dope character, but yeah. Ralphie and Janice are growing closer. They're starting to have a romantic relationship. It's super random, and this is a storyline that I feel is kind of inconsistent in the show right now. Because why the fuck did he just randomly leave Rosalie? I don't even know what happened to cause him to leave. But anyway, Ralphie comes to a Sunday dinner at Tony and Carmela's home with Rosalie April, sorry. But Janice later joins him in the bathroom for cocaine and sex, and Tony's like looking at his phone. He's listening to Hugh talk, and or not his phone. He's looking at his watch. He's like, "How long have those two been fucking away?" They're literally fucking away. Like, what the fuck were you talking about? But Christopher, believing that Tony is treating him harshly because he questioned his action against Jackie Pro Jr., begins using heroin again. You know, he's hooked on the drugs. He's kind of stressing out. You know, he feels like he's got the bad end of the stick here. He complains about the constant presence of Adriana's close friend Danielle, unaware she's actually undercover FBI agent Cicerone, who it's one of those developing storylines that we kind of got from last season. And again, I'm really excited to see how the show kind of executes that. Adriana takes her to Tony's home and introduces her to him. And Adriana's pretty much going to cost them a lot. Money, cost them their fucking lives damn near. If she keeps carrying this girl around, obviously she doesn't know. Obviously it's like not her fault, but again, the more she parades around with this girl, the worse it's going to get for guys like Christopher and Tony and, you know, the gang. So, Junior learns that there is an undercover agent in his doctor's office. He believes it was the nurse he was flirting with and is mortified that he failed to suspect her. It's obviously like a very... It's like a strike to... It's like a blow to your character, like not being able to distinguish that. And that's obviously heartbreaking, disappointing, all that stuff. And it's very worrisome because if she caught some things from those little meetings they had in the doctor's room, it could end very badly. So, anyway, speaking to Dr. Melfi about business with unusual frankness, Tony discusses his plans to use Christopher as a proxy in order to avoid jail time or death, which is super fucked up. Like, he really trusts her, and he's able to tell her these things. Although he knows that Christopher is taking heroin again, he now, in an attempt to bond with him, gives him the name and home address of a recently retired policeman who Tony claims killed his father. We're not sure if it actually happened, but Christopher carries out the plan, breaks into the man's house, kills him. That's kind of how the episode ends. And it's like, holy shit. It was a pretty cool scene. But there's a lot of new characters. Obviously, we get introduced to Bobby Baccalari's family, you know, his son, his wife, his daughter. We get introduced to Carlo Gervasi, who's a Soprano de Mio crime family capo. We get introduced to Murph Lupo, who's an aging former Soprano de Mio crime family capo and friend of Junior Soprano. Adriana La Cerva's dog Cosette is going to be introduced, which is funny. Barry Haydu died. He was shot dead in his home by Christopher Moltisanti to avenge Dickie Moltisanti's murder. And I wonder if there's going to be some sort of plot twist. Like, maybe he didn't do this to Christopher's dad, and maybe Tony just is using him to, like, make things right. I don't know. And Tony's going to, like, soon become the bad guy. Like, it really sucks what he's doing. Like, some of his actions are just super questionable right now. But it is what it is. I mean, he's obviously the main character. We got to side with him a lot of the time. But, yeah, it's going to be really interesting, you know, especially with Cicerone being the undercover. That'll be really cool to see how that unfolds. A lot of stuff. You know, how Tony is trying to screw people over, like his uncle and, like, Christopher Moltisanti. Obviously very subliminally. But, yeah, leave a like, comment, subscribe. As always, it has been Jeezy TV, reviewing your favorite TV shows. So... there's going to be a lot of Soprano reviews coming up soon. So, today we obviously have one. Tomorrow, the next day. I think we're going to have some all the way up until Wednesday, because then NBA is coming back on Thursday. So, that'll be really interesting. And we're going to have to find some other video ideas like Monday and Tuesday. We'll figure something out. But I'm out.